So what's your topic today, and what are you bringing on the table?
So I'm going to be discussing the future of SEO and the future of CRO, because Google is releasing a page experience update, and what you'll see is user experience and things like CRO eventually are going to impact SEO as well.
Awesome.
Today, I'm going to be talking about the future of SEO and CRO. It's not what you think. My Twitter handle, Neil Patel, more importantly, my Instagram handle, where I post up personal content, at Neil Patel. A little bit bio of me. I've co-founded an agency, Neil Patel Digital. We have 2 offices in India. We have an India division as well. We help all the companies in India grow faster. Created Uber Suggest, worked with a lot of large companies like HP, Amazon, have award for top 100 entrepreneur under the age of 30 by President Obama, and top 100 entrepreneur under the age of 35 by United Nations. Although I'm getting old now, I'm technically 35 and I'll be turning 36 soon. Have a lot of testimonials from a lot of different people, and I'm not showing this to brag. I don't think I'm the best marketer. I still have a lot to learn, but it's more so I wouldn't have had these testimonials. I wouldn't have worked with these big brands if it wasn't that my tactics didn't work. And because my tactics work, that's why I have all this recognition. So when I talk to you guys about some of the stats, the data, even if they seem basic to you, just remember they work. So ask yourself, are you really doing them? And what's unique about me is I see both sides of digital marketing. I see it from the platform's end, like Facebook. They'll hit me up, ask me to speak at their conferences. I've worked with Google, helped them with their marketing. And I also have my own blog that gets millions of visitors a month. And on top of that, at my ad agency, we have hundreds and hundreds of clients all around the world. So I can see how SEO and marketing is impacting them in all different industries, whether it's paid, SEO, conversion. Literally, I'm seeing all aspects of digital marketing. So let's play a game before we get started. How many blogs do you think there are on the web? Take a guess. Write it in the chat. Let us know. 10,000? Of course, more than that, right? 5 million, 100 million, 500 million. The number is actually 1 billion plus blogs on the internet. That's roughly 1 blog for every 7 people. That's way too much content for Google to choose from. And that's why it's getting harder and harder to do SEO. And if you look at how many enterprise companies are leveraging content marketing, it's the majority of them. Everyone has a blog. Everyone's putting content on social. Everyone's thinking about content marketing. Here's another one. Why are startups raising hundreds of millions of dollars? Even startups in India. India is booming these days. It's an amazing country. I'm biased as well because, I'm Indian, but still, I believe it's an amazing country. And companies in India are now raising a lot of money and competing with American-based companies. Why is that? It's because they're raising this money for sales and marketing, right? India has a lot of amazing entrepreneurs and marketers. What percentage of searches will be voice search by the end of this year? Well, at least in the US, according to ComScore, over 50% of the searches are voice search. Now, Google's revenue during the recession, it keeps going up. I don't have data for 2020 because it's not over yet. But when we're looking at pre-COVID versus post-COVID, we're already seeing numbers before. If you look at these days, we're seeing the ad costs for Google and Facebook to be higher than what it was in January or February before COVID even started. So would you like to learn what I know? Well, if you're looking for the holy grail of SEO, don't expect to find it. See, it's all about marginal gains. There was this British cycling coach, Dave Brailsford, where he believed that if you improved every area related to cycling by just 1%, those small gains would add up to remarkable improvement. So whether that's your seat on your bicycle, if it's more comfortable, you're much more likely to do well. Your helmet being aerodynamic. If you have a good night's sleep before your race, you're much more likely to do well. All these little things add up enough to potentially win the race. And his whole thing was about marginal gains. And that's the same thing with SEO. You're not going to find one tactic that just gets you to the top of Google. You're going to find a lot of little things that help you to beat your competition. So now let's go over the facts on what's going to happen. Fact number 1, content marketing is going omni-channel. When you look at marketing spend by channel, and we surveyed over 100 companies, I actually believe it's over 200 companies, 200 and something. And these companies generate millions in revenue, and some even are worth billions of dollars. And we use this instead of startups because startups can skew the number, right? Whether they're venture funded or they're burning money to lose it. So we started looking at companies of all sizes that aren't startups, but that are older, more established businesses. And what we end up seeing is people are still spending the majority of their money on Google AdWords because you put in a key,
That are startups.
you put in a keyword and it ends up doing, you can end up showing an ad just for that keyword. It's easy. You type in laptops, you can show them laptops that they can buy. Facebook, of course, it's popular, but the thing with Facebook is it's not targeting based for keywords. You may target interests, but it's still a massive platform, so there's a lot of money there. Then there's SEO and content marketing, social media, and then other. And we expect by the end of 2020 to Facebook to increase percentage of spend just because it's a massive platform and growing so fast for direct to consumer e-commerce. Conversion rate by channel, AdWords, of course, is going to be higher. Facebook is next, but keep in mind, Facebook is cheaper, typically cost per click than Google. SEO, of course, the conversion is not as good because you have to have a lot of content typically to rank high. So your conversions go down because people are reading instead of clicking a buy button. Organic social media, not so much because they don't want to send you over to other people's websites. And then there's other. Average number of social shares per post is going down, although in 2020 we're seeing a big rise in social performance from TikTok and LinkedIn. Those two platforms do quite well, but the rest are continually giving you less social shares per post. Now, why are you publishing or where are you publishing your content? It used to be people mainly publish their content on their blog, but now they're repurposing it and putting it everywhere from Medium to Tumblr to Facebook to LinkedIn to Twitter. And that's because Google doesn't penalize for duplicate content, nor do the other social platforms. So if you have content, publish it everywhere because it just gets you more views. What percentage of your organic search traffic goes to your blog? We're seeing this increase. Search engines want to rank content-rich sites because a lot of the queries people search for are education-based content or educational-based queries. So make sure you go out there and create a blog because even if it doesn't generate a lot of revenue right now, it will in the long run. I was talking to my buddy Jeff, and he's in Las Vegas and he has a business there. His blog, he's been doing it for over a year now, and a few months ago started generating $2,000 a month in income. Then it jumped up to 4 a month. Then it went to 7. And then this month it's on track for 13. And it's growing at a decent, healthy pace. Blogging can generate quite a bit of revenue. What portion of your customers, I mentioned that already. What portion of your organic traffic goes to your blog? We mentioned that. And then this is what portion of your customers first found you through your blog, right? And this is the Jeff example where it's increasing. And what we're finding is a lot of times people find you through your blog, they don't buy right away, and then you use remarketing pixels, and then you get them back, and then you get them to convert. What has led to your biggest traffic gains? Translations is the biggest one. If you look at your story, they're in so many languages. If you look at, the world, majority of the people don't speak English. So translate your content. The next one is updating content. Remember, there's over 1 billion blogs on the internet. So if you update your content, you're more likely to get more traffic because you're keeping it fresh, up to date for search engines. To give you a good idea of this, when you look at my blog, I myself am writing an article a week. My team is updating 21 articles a week. They spend more time updating the old articles than I do writing new content, and that's helped us get a lot of traffic because Google wants to keep fresh, updated content towards the top. So how are companies generating an ROI from their content? It goes back to most people are leveraging content marketing to warm people up, build that trust, then remarket those people and then send them to their sales pages and products later on. So can you guess what's happening to CPAs when they're doing this? Well, the cost per acquisition is going down. It's much cheaper to do this from what we've seen and tested than it is to just take cold traffic, send them from an ad and send them to your site and get them to convert. It's cheaper, believe it or not, to do paid traffic to content, educates, and then do remarketing to that same person and get them to buy. We found that to be much more effective and cheaper. So what's cool about going omni-channel is you can repurpose your content. You create one piece of content for YouTube, you can put it everywhere. Instagram TV, TikTok, literally you can put it everywhere. So if you're going to create content, keep repurposing in mind because it makes it so much easier. Fact number 2, user metrics are the key to beating Google. Rand Fishkin, an SEO name that you're probably familiar with, years and years ago, put on Twitter, hey everyone, I want you to Google best grilled steak and then go to the first query and click the back button right away after you click on it. And then go to the fourth query and just stick around on that website. Within minutes, around 70 minutes, that site moved up from the 4th position to number 1. That's user metrics. See, if everyone on Google is searching for something, they click on the lower result, it tells Google that it's more relevant. Yes, there's things like backlinks and on-page SEO, but user metrics are more important. If some site has tons of links, but no one wants to click on it, Google doesn't care. They don't want to put that site at the top. And what's crazy is the site also started ranking for the term grilled steak. See, this is best grilled steak. They went to number 1, but the term for a grilled steak, they went to the 2nd position, which is crazy. Now, you may not have the Twitter followers of Rand Fishkin or you or me or someone else, but here's what you can do, right? And I'm going to show you how you can improve your title tags and meta descriptions to get the most amount of clicks, because that's the only realistic way to scale it. And I got this data from ClickFlow and Brian Dean from Backlinko. Questions in your title tend to have a 14.1% higher click-through rate. So if you have a question such as, what is it called? So a question could be like, how do you improve, or what's the fastest person who runs a mile, right? I'm making it up. Or another question, sorry, I'm blanking on this. It's quite late. But another question is, how to install a toilet. That's more actually a query. That's not really a question, but how do you install the toilet? A question mark. And that would work instead of how to, or how to reinstall my operating system. These are all examples of questions. And then we also found that you get an 8.6% higher CTR for titles that are 15 to 40 characters. Now, I don't recommend 15 character titles because that's too short. You barely can include keywords, but 40 characters, you can still include keywords in there and get more clicks. You get a 45% increase in click-through rate on average when the exact query is in the URL. So if my query is dog food, if my URL was neilpatel.com/dog food, I'm more likely to get more clicks. Power words like amazing, effortless, incredible tend to increase click-through rate by 13.9%. You get a 7.3% higher click-through rate for titles that contain emotions versus ones that don't. So consider leveraging emotions. And I also recommend that you want to leverage curiosity. Curiosity can increase your click-through rate by roughly 5.9%. Example of that is the 7 benefits of green tea in parentheses, and then put number 6 will shock you. So the 7 benefits of green tea, number 6 will shock you. That's an example of evoking curiosity. Like, wait, benefits of green tea, what's number 6? Why will it shock me? Adding a meta description increased click-through rate by 5.8%. Keep in mind, even though Google may show a description, you may not have a meta description. So just double check on that so you can control the copy and increase your clicks. Titles with years generated 4.9% higher click-through rate. The ultimate guide to blogging for 2020 or 2021. Titles that resemble education had 10.4% more clicks. Makes sense. Most people don't want to be sold. And you're more likely to be successful if you look at the paid ads, because Google leverages quality score and they look at click-through rate. So you want to make sure that you learn from those ads because it'll give you ideas of what will work. And when you make these changes to your title, be patient. It takes roughly 30 days to see changes. Fact number 3, what's old is new again. Your old content isn't getting much traffic. So I had this old site years and years ago. I eventually sold it, called Nutrition Secrets. I got a lot of traffic by just updating my old content. And here's how I did it. For every new article that I write, my team updates 21 old articles. And the way I update it is I take anything outdated and create a better experience of my competition by making it more relevant. I add pictures that explain what I'm trying to do, or videos. Anything that doesn't make sense anymore, I delete it. Anything that's irrelevant, like talking about Vine or MySpace, no one cares about that, I would delete that. Then I would update the publish date I don't worry about word count. I think about user experience. There is no rule of thumb of should you add 100 words or 500 words or 1,000 words. You do what's best for the user. I wouldn't change your URLs when you re-update the post. If you do, make sure you use a 301 redirect and then submit it again to Search Console, whether once you're done updating the page, you just put in your URL at the top, and then it'll retrieve the page, and then you submit it for indexing, and within 30 days, you should see more traffic to that page. Fact number 4, you have to focus on branding. The ex-CEO of Google once said, brands are the solution, not the problem. Brands are how you sort out the cesspool. So years and years ago, I did this in all languages. I had people hold up sign, who is Neil Patel? Whether it was TV anchors, sports figures, random people who is my name. And I did it multiple times. 1, 2, 3. That caused rankings to shoot up in terms like digital marketing, online marketing, all higher because I am a brand. Well, the key to building a brand is a rule of 7, because you probably can't do what I did. With your brand 7 times, they're more likely to follow you, evangelize you, buy from you, tell other people about you, that you follow the rule of 7. And the way you do that is through push notifications, email, you want to do chat messengers. All this stuff will get people back to your website, which then allows them to follow you and remember your brand, which will help you grow. Fact number 5, CDNs are your new best friend. So if you haven't heard of a CDN, it stands for Content Delivery Network. Okay, so a CDN takes your content, puts it on servers all over the world. So if you're in India and you're viewing my site, neilpatel.com, it loads from an India server. That's an example of a CDN. And the reason important is it can decrease your conversions. Now, Amazon's a well-known brand. Every second in delayed load time costs Amazon $1.6 billion. Now, for you, you're not going to lose $1.6 billion, but load time matters. So you may use a CDN, but what you don't do is most people don't put their non-static files on a CDN. See, we always used to put our static files like images and stuff like that, but then we started taking our non-static files and put them on the CDN, and that caused my page speed score to increase, which then caused my rankings and traffic to increase. So don't just put your static files on a CDN. I want you to start putting your non-static files as well. Fact number 6, slow and steady wins the race. If you want to rank high, you need to attract links, and even more links. But here's what we learned that's interesting. So if you look at neilpatel.com, tons of links. We recently learned something over the years. If you build links and not at a fast pace, you go for more quality links, less links, but you just focus on quality, you're going to generate higher rankings than if you just built a lot of links, which is unnatural. So of course you don't want to buy links or do anything funny, but you want to get good natural links by writing good content, doing manual outreach, PR, and if you just focus on quality and don't focus on keeping up with everyone else, you'll do well. And we found in many cases, if you take a slow and steady approach, and even if you build 1/5 to 1/6 of the links of your competition, so a lot less, you can actually outrank them. And we've just found that it does much better than if you just keep building links too fast, which is unnatural. So some tips, don't build too many links too fast. Take it easy and focus on high quality content. Don't obsess about rich anchor text links. Just focus on good sites. Don't obsess about high domain authority links. Focus on relevancy. And don't get caught up in the rat race. You can rank with 1/10 the links of the competition. And if building links doesn't increase your rankings right away, don't increase the rate you're building links at. Still take it slow and steady. Fact number 7, traffic isn't everything. So this is my old startup Kissmetrics. And this is old data, but we are getting 164,000 organic visits. Our competitor Mixpanel is getting roughly 3 times less traffic than us. And they ended up raising venture capital at a $65 million raise at an $865 million valuation. Now, when you look at that business, they were getting 3 times less traffic than them. If they're worth 865, what do you think I was worth? And this is maybe shocking to you. We were not even worth 1/10 of what they were worth. What I learned at that point in life, and it was really hard for me to grasp, was the real formula of success is traffic plus conversions cubed. You spend more time on conversions, that's what equals success. So let's go over some basic CRO tactics. This is Ramit Sethi. He has a lead magnet. You put in your name, email, you get an offer of his free book chapter that works well. And emails can generate a lot of conversions. It's one of my best performing channels. And that's why I recommend everyone start with the email list. One of my friends, she started creating email lists from her Instagram profile, and she started using that to market books and apparel, and literally in a matter of no time started generating $32,000 in sales.